What up, though? It's your boy Bennett, and this is a special edition of the Central Crown. We call this the state of the franchise. We're gonna go out. I got a group of questions for my guys. Asking what the hell happened this season with our Detroit Tigers. But you know how we do when we start off every show. I'll let you know who's in the building with me. Starting with the man with the 97 jersey on. Rich.
What up, though? You can catch me on X at Riggs928.
My fellow Tiger analyst, Chris.
Hey, what up, Joe? You can find me on X at Crazy Hockey Fan. You can also find me on Instagram at OneParadeNation_24.
And Money Mike.
Man, this is not the Lions pre or post game show, Rich. I don't know why you got that jersey on. It's always Hutch, bro. Get some other jerseys, man. Put a Jared Goff, put a Sam Laporte or something on. That's nice, man. That nice.
Hey, this is the baseball show, not the hater show. Let's go.
Y'all can find me on X1Pride_JR, man. Take that jersey off, man.
You can always catch him hating on Hutch for some reason.
Day in the comments already. What up, Day? Mike come swinging out.
We all Day. We already know Mike swings. We get that.
That ain't funny.
Hey, that's what. Never mind. Don't get me started, bro.
All right, let's get our first question, man. What's going on? Starting with, what changed after the All-Star break with this team, man? Start with you, Chris.
I don't know. I don't think we got anybody that we like. We didn't get top guys. We got guys that just were fill-in. I mean, Finnegan was nice and stuff. I think the league adjusted to us, and I don't think we adjusted back as well. I mean, we started off pretty good after the All-Star break, but we started slow. As the season got closer to the end, we didn't do as well. And I think that led to not in-game. And I've said this before. It just seems like as the season got towards the end, how can I say it? It didn't look like they were making like per game changes or game to game changes. It just seems like, hey, good luck, everybody, go out there and just do your best. That's what it seemed like it was. There was no like on the spot corrections or anything like you would see at football or something like that, where like if you messed up or if you didn't do well, you didn't physically see it. Now, could stuff be happening in the background we don't see? It's possible, but I don't know. I don't know. It didn't have the same air as the beginning of the season.
Mike.
Yeah, I agree with Chris. I just think they caught up to us. We didn't have the counters as far as the players, and as well, Day. You could put that last comment from Day up. We peaked too early, man. We were the first team to win like 40, 50, 60 games, 30, and then after that 60, I don't think we were the first to win 70, 80 or nothing like that. So they didn't acquire the players that we wanted at the deadline. They went fairly cheap. Just and the hitting was always an issue. Like pitching stabilized in the rotation and in the bullpen, but the hitting just never caught back up to what it was before we started going through these slumps.
Rich.
Oh yeah, me and Rich had that Uncle Charlie versus Casey Mize debate for who was going to be Game 2 starter, and then one of the dudes didn't even make the roster.
Rich.
Mention my name one more time. I'm putting you on blast, homie. And that's coming from the Hutch.
He think he in the Hutch family because this is crazy, man.
Rich, man, your thoughts, man. What changed after the All-Star break, man? Coming from the hood.
Mike started hating too much, man. He's always hating on something. He hanging around Day Day too much. Became like Day Day. Became a hater. Nah, man. I agree with what they said. Also, it seemed like, especially at the end, their approach changed from the beginning of the year. Uh, and then, like, you would see that approach for game and disappear. That approach being seeing a lot of pitches, making the pitchers work. And I think when they were slumping real bad, not getting the runners in, then they were trying too hard and swinging at every darn thing. But, like our best player said, it is what it is.
And
All
then they
right.
going crazy.
I hear what you said, Chris. You was on mute.
Okay, cool.
You the Tigers re-signed Glory Torres, man. Rich, I'm gonna start with you.
This was an easier question before. But I don't know. I ain't totally against it, but if you can get something better, I ain't opposed to that. But even if you do bring them back, I wouldn't bring them back for more than like 2 years.
Chris.
So I tend to agree a little bit with what Rig said. I'll tell you, it depends on how his hernia I can't even say it. Hernia surgery finishes off, because if truly that's what killed him in the second half, and not just kind of going along with everybody else in terms of how well or how lack thereof he played towards the end of the season. If that's really what caused him not to play well, then I'd be more inclined to sign him a little bit long. I'm not looking at a 5 or 6 year. Like, there's no long term in my mind, unless if he's looking for that, then we may not be able to do it, unless it's like small money per year. But he played well enough this year to justify getting a bigger contract from other teams. So I agree with Rich to a point. I think 3 years is the max I would go, but I don't know how much per year I'd have to do. I'd have to look and see what the market is for the same production from other players. I would be inclined to sign him, though, but it can't be like big money.
Coming off an All-Star break, I think you're going to want some money. Mike, your take.
Yeah, my answer all year until now was no. My answer was always let him go and let him sign on with another team, because he's proven that he should get a multi-year contract. I don't think it would be long term, because like 3 to 4 years, I don't consider 3 to 4 years long-term contracts, especially in baseball. So I agree with Chris in that aspect. I think he gets a 3 to 4 year deal, maybe guaranteed. Well, baseball is always guaranteed. Like, you can in NFL and sometimes in basketball, you can get them last year's partially or non-guaranteed, but it's hard to do that in baseball. But either way, 3 to 4 years, I wouldn't be mad at it, as long as he's not getting paid exorbitantly high. I think he should get a fair contract, and he's one of the veteran bats we need. He was for the most of the year, he was one of the best hitters on the team. Like, I agree with Chris in this aspect too. Like, if it was about the sports hernia and that's why he tailed off towards the end of the year, second part of the year, I don't have an issue with us bringing them back, because we need every veteran bat we can get. Like, I totally changed my answer on this. Yes, bring him back, please. Hopefully he heals well after the surgery, and we add, like we said in our off-season show, like we said when the season was first starting, if we would have added 1 to 2 more veteran bats on top of Torres, we would have been okay. But that's not what it did. Hopefully they fix that scenario this offseason.
All right, next topic. Do the Tigers give Riley Greene a new contract? Mike, I'm gonna let you start off.
No, I was gonna say something stronger than that, but I'll say no. Um, you don't give him a new contract right now. Like he has to earn it. It's a lot of hitters, young hitters on this team that have to earn their contracts, and he's one of them. I would not give him a multi-year contract right now at this point. Can't do it. And I'm
Chris,
not mad at that. I'm not mad at that comment from Marie either.
Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't. What he wants versus what we're willing to pay isn't going to happen. Like, I'm not going to say no, but I know it's going to be no because of what he wants versus what we're willing to pay. I think that's what's going to be the difference. It's not going to, because he's going to want a long-term, huge contract. And now, granted, he based on like all the algorithms and everything, 2 all-star appearances, the amount of home runs and RBIs, because for some reason strikeouts and no walks don't count in this league anymore. Like, people don't go, well, he did this and this. Yeah, but he didn't do this and this, and people don't concentrate on that. They only concentrate on all the positive stuff. When a dude only walks like 40 times and freaking strikes out 200 times in a season, that kind of counterbalances your 100 RBIs and 34 home runs. Not to the extent that you would think it would, but that still has to be a talking point when you're doing contracts. Like, hey, yeah, I hit 30 home runs and had 10 RBIs. Yeah, but you also struck out 200 times, and you only got on base 40 times due to walk. Like, that counterbalances what you just did. But I know that's not how the talking points for contracts are going to work. It's going to start from the positive and work its way up. I don't think he's deserving of a like 7 or 8 year contract. And if he is, it's not as high per year as I would like to see it. But that's why it's going to be a no, is because it's going to be too much money and too long. If he cuts a shorter deal and tries to double down, like get maybe a 2 or 3, and it's not a high contract, I could see it. But the problem is like, you don't have another year to go, well, let me see how he does next year to see if it's worth it. Because if next year he puts up 30 home runs and has 90 RBIs and he has 45 walks and he has 210 strikeouts, he's exactly what he was the year before. So you don't have another year to look at.
Rich.
I mean, you don't know what you have at this point. Because, I was thinking he was a 280 to 300 hitter with some pop, with a good eye. I mean, shit, he played 20 more games than last year and walked 16 times less and struck out almost 40 times more. Unless you're going to become Kyle Schwarber, where you're still going to have the high strikeouts, but you're going to have the high walks. But I disagree, Day, because Adam Dunn had walks. I'm pretty sure.
You look at his numbers, like all his numbers outside of him hitting more home runs, the majority of the other numbers fell from this year versus last year.
Yeah, see, Adam Dunn hit a career 237, but he had a 364 on base percentage. Led the league in walks twice. So, like Kyle Schwarber.
Rich, look at Riley's on base percentage this year versus last year, and look at his WAR too. His WAR last year was significantly better than this year.
Yeah, 313. I mean, that's pathetic. Like, if you're going to have the strikeouts, you got to at least have the walks to go with it, to balance balance it out. But not doing that, and I mean,
If it's gonna be homer or bust, I need 50. I need 50 home runs, man. If it's gonna be home run or bust.
but he's got in 2 playoff years, but he's got 1 homer and 3 RBIs.
And that's what's gonna count. Like when you get to those negotiation tables, that's what they bring up. Like the team is gonna bring up that. Like, yeah, he was an all-star twice, cool. Yeah, he hit 36 home runs this year, fine. But you still had 200 strikeouts, and we have 2 postseason runs of statistics on you now. And what did you do in both postseasons? Absolutely nothing.
Not only that, but key stats that went down from last year was OPS and like Rich said, it was on base percentage. Both of those went down. OPS going down in a better year, supposedly, and your batting average, even though it was just a few percentage points. Like he's got too many stats that went down in a similar season, and it was supposed to be a better season.
Yep. And even the WAR, like I think the WAR last year he was a +5 in WAR, and then this year he was if I remember correctly, I think he was a sub-2, maybe 1.7 at WAR. So I mean, it's all the stats outside of him hitting more home runs that literally went down, literally everything. So I don't think you could justify getting him a contract like Chris was saying. At the point the player will probably want, like if it's a thing like Chris was saying, like a 2-3 year extension and the contract is not significant, where it's high in money, but it's decent, like it's a compromise between player and team, then I could get it. But I don't think that's going to be the solution. I think the player's obviously going to want to get paid. So I just don't think you can pay the player out for these last 2 years and after the playoff runs.
And he's so predictable. The guy, you could have the 2 guys before him work at bats. The pitcher's wild all over the place. Got 2 on. First pitch he sees, he's hitting it. And usually it's going to be a ground out to second or a pop out. Or he's going to, like, it's so predictable.
Yeah, like I was telling Neil, because we were joking, because Seattle was walking everybody. Like they walked not only Carpenter, but they walked Greene at points in those extra innings too. And I joked at Neil in the group chat, said, man, they walked him to prevent a strikeout, man. That's classy on the Seattle Mariners' part, man, because that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did when he got a chance to get up there for an at-bat. When he got a chance to be nobody on bases, no outs, he got a chance to swing the bat. That's exactly what the fuck he did. He struck out.
It's a Saturday. I can't be a lawyer today. I'm on break. All right, next topic, man.
It's actually Sunday, sir.
You know what I meant, bro. Anyway, next question, man. Even though he's still on
Ohio State education, hey, can't blame it.
Even though he's under contract for next season, man, we still got him for 1 more year. Do we re-sign him now, or do we trade?
This fan base has got to get over. He's not resigning. You could offer him $1 billion. Boris is not going to let him. Period. He's going to free agency.
And he resigned.
I don't know how we can't get this through to the Tigers fan. He's not signing. I don't care how much money you give him. He's not doing it. He's hitting free agency. That's what Boris does. Why do you think?
My bad, Rich. I didn't mean to cut you off. Do we have his quote? Because he's been saying the same thing I've been saying on multiple shows. Do we have the Skubal quote?
What?
I meant to ask Neil to put that in here before we started the show, but that's my bad, y'all. But he basically said we should not be competing for ALDS and ALCS berths. We should be competing for World Series, and that's what I've been saying the whole time. Because the thing with Scott Harris is he's talking about, we're the playoffs. We should not be competing for playoff berths. It's not about making the playoffs and then seeing what you can do. It's about going after the actual championship. And Skubal literally said the same thing I said, like I think yesterday or the day before when they quoted him. So until they fix the team, like that's not really a question, but that has a big part of what to do with this question is about. But you keep going, Rich. That's my fault.
I told Chris yesterday, and only Chris Ilitch knows this. If you do not plan on giving him a competitive offer once he hits free agency, just go ahead and trade him. That way, at least you get something. Because you're going to get something. Because it'll be a team like the Yankees or the Dodgers. They'll want him in house, so that way that gives them, better negotiating power. You're going to get something. I mean, but not as much as if you would have got like a year or two ago with control. But you're still gonna get something for him, man. Especially it'll be one of the Mets or somebody. It'll be one of those big teams that will swing and try to get him in house. Because as much as I don't want him gone, I would rather, if you're not going to give him a competitive offer, seriously be in the running for him, then might as well get something for him.
Chris, before we get to you, Mike, I do got that. I'm going to let you read it off. Here you go.
All right, here we go. So I think the World Series should be the standard, right? I think that's why you play the game, to compete and win a World Series every year. I don't think the ALCS should be the standard. I don't really know if the ALDS should be the standard. The standard should be the World Series. It's going to be up to a lot of guys in this clubhouse. We're young, coming back again. It's going to be up to our offseason and how we attack it. For me, personally, get back in the gym, get my body underneath me, and get ready to go again. I think the World Series should be the standard from everyone in this organization. And that's what I've been saying on multiple shows and multiple chats behind these shows when we're not even on the camera. It should be about winning the damn World Series. The owners, I just don't get ownership. They don't want to spend any money. They don't want to trade assets to get assets in here to get the veteran bats we need or the pitching that we need. And it's like, what are you doing? You got the best pitcher in baseball, best left-handed pitcher in baseball by far. And all his starts, like even the first start against Seattle, he gave up 2 runs. He gave up 2 solo home runs. But an ace giving up 2 solo home runs, you should still be able to win that game, should you not? Absolutely. You got to get some offense in here. You just have to. Like, it shouldn't be about seeing what we could do in the wild card and what we could do in the division series and seeing if we can hopefully get to a championship series. Getting there to a series before the World Series shouldn't even matter. We should be going after the whole thing. And that's what he's saying. And I agree with Rich. His agent is one of the best agents in professional sports. And his clients, they usually don't resign. They usually test the market. And so I don't see him resigning this offseason. I see him going into the next season with the same contract and them putting the pressure on the Tigers organization to get this team to a championship contending level. That's just what I see. And it's going to be up to ownership. And I'm going to still be stubborn in my answer saying that we do resign Skubal because I think ownership will finally see their ways and be like, we need to do what we need to do to not only resign this man, but to go for it all. Hopefully they do it that way. But if they don't do it that way, they might as well trade him because he's going to walk. He's going to walk. Nobody wants to come and compete for a championship and with a team when the ownership in the front office is not going to join them in their aspirations to compete for a championship. I just don't see it.
I think that message was kind of directed towards the organization too. But Chris, your thoughts on Skubal?
So yeah, I agree with Mike and Rich. It's going to be tough, and with what he said, you can read between the lines. He is telling the front office what I'm seeing and what I expect for this upcoming season. Like he's telling you. So if we go in and we do half baked like we did last year, we pick up one veteran and kind of like just kind of roll with what we got, and we bring up a couple of prospects, do what we were doing last year, and we end up doing the same thing. And at the deadline, we pick up a couple of aging veterans, 1 or 2 here that maybe will fill in a gap when somebody's injured, and we roll into the playoffs, and we end up doing the same thing again. Skubal is gone because he already told you this is what I expect and this is what I see, and you're not doing anything. dude, he's going to make that price tag as high as it's already going to be as high as it can be. And if we don't re-sign Skubal, that is going to set the precedence from the front office of how we treat the guys that we mold. So the whole thing about like we grow our own people, that's fine, but don't expect the contract at the end when you get really good is basically what they're telling their homegrown people.
And this goes back to the last subject. So we have two players coming up on contracts. Skubal is coming up immediately on the contract after next season. And then the player we talked about in the last segment being Riley Greene. And it goes back to the negotiations and the negotiation power, whether that be the team versus the player. And so Skubal is in an entirely different bracket than Riley Greene because, one, he's the one of, if not the best pitcher in baseball, definitely the best left-handed pitcher in baseball. And coming off of Cy Young, and he's probably going to win the Cy Young for this season as well. So you're going to come off 2 Cy Youngs, and then the postseason, when you look at his postseason this past year, he was dominant, man. 14 Ks versus the Cleveland Guardians, 13 Ks in his last start versus the Seattle Mariners.
A 14K game was a beautiful thing to see. I was there. Go ahead.
Right. Man, I wish I was there for one of those performances. But yeah, like he like his ERA this postseason, phenomenal. Like it like I said, every time we have a pitcher up there, whether it be bullpen or starter, it should not be live or die every single pitch, bro. It just should not. The offense should not put them in that situation. All the players on the shows with Jeter, Big Papi, and who's the other one on the show? Alex Rodriguez. All of them said, like, yeah, Skubal starting game 5 is nice, right? But you got to put ownership on the offense. You still have to score runs. Gleyber Torres was on the show after game 4, and he said the same thing. Yeah, we have Skubal starting, but we still, as an offense, have to put the runs on the board. He said he can go out there and throw a no-hitter pretty much, but we still have to score runs, and they're still not doing that. So they just got to get this thing fixed. You're either going to go for it or you're not. And if you're not going to go for it, you need to trade Skubal and get what you can get at this point. And Rich is entirely correct. If we would have did this season or the season prior, we would have got more. But you will still get significant assets if you do. But that's only if you're not going to go for it. I say you should go for it. Skubal is telling you, and what I read to you guys, he is saying they should go for it. It's on the front office and ownership to pull that trigger.
I totally agree. All right, next topic. How much do you blame AJ Hinch for the collapse this season? Rich,
I want to touch on one thing real quick. Pull that last thing up from Day, that last comment. Braves do the same. We let Freeman, Dansby, and Fred walk. I do agree with that, but the thing that's different from Atlanta versus Detroit in this scenario, you guys actually pulled through and won the World Series in this scenario. You guys won one. Detroit is talking about getting in the playoff in the wild card division series. It's two different things. It is some similarities with that, but you guys at least won the big one before you guys started doing some of that stuff. But Rich, you start the topic.
Man, I don't really blame Hinch at all. I mean, he did with what the best he could with what he had. I mean, to be honest with you, how many managers would be able to get as much out of his team as he does? I mean, he literally pieces shit together to make it work. I mean, hell, we had Cotter Montero get a save. Who would ever thought that? Like, he just seems to. He's very good at matchups and always press the right button. So, I think you're crazy as hell if you blame Hinch.
Get Chris and then Mike.
So I don't have a different opinion. It's just I know that fan bases are hyper focused on negatives. Like they focus when they're talking about their favorite player, they hyper focus on the positive, and when they don't like somebody, they hyper focus on the negative. So, and that's the thing. I think if there's any question, it's only because it's the most recent when like maybe he didn't make a change that everybody liked, or maybe he didn't pull a pitcher when he needed to, or when he because every coach does that from time to time. They're going to pull a guy one pitch too late, or they're going to pull a pitcher when they probably should have left him in for another inning or two. Yeah, they all do that, but Hinch does the best with what he has. So if there's, how can I say it? If there's anything that you might want to blame Hinch for, is maybe not talking to the front office more, pushing more to say, hey, listen, dude, we are not getting quality enough players, man. I'm duct taping freaking tape trying to and freaking glue keeping this rotation together. Did we all forget that we lost Jackson Jobe, Olsen to injury for the season? We also went through so many pitching issues throughout the whole season, and we still ended up with an adequate bullpen to get us into the playoffs and get us into the next round. It's that hitting, man. That's the only thing. Like, I don't know if we need to change coaches or whatnot, but you can't blame AJ Hinch, man. Like Rich said, man, it's only what he has with him.
Mike.
I can't blame Hinch. I've been saying this too throughout each of these series and throughout the regular season. Like, if I had to give him a letter grade, I'd give him a B plus. Before Game 5 versus the Mariners, it would have been an A. But did a couple things in that Mariners game I did not like. I did not like you could pull Day Day's last comment up. That's one of the things. That's a knock. Like, we've pulled Riley Greene twice. For Jones, I don't understand why we couldn't pull. It wasn't Clark. It was who's our DH? Who was our DH in Game 5?
Cole.
Left-hander, Colt Keith. So I don't get not pulling Cole in that clutch situation versus a lefty. Correct? Wasn't that lefty on lefty?
Yeah, he could have pulled Parker too.
So I don't have a problem with Parker because Parker did exactly what we needed Parker to do. We needed him to put a bunt down, and he successfully did it. He got the guys over to second and third base. Now, what should have happened after that, after Parker sacrifices himself and gets the guys on second and third base so you get two runners in scoring position, what should have happened in that is you pull Keith and put Jones in that situation. And if Jones doesn't cut it, he doesn't cut it. But we know for damn sure Keith wasn't going to cut it, and he had some of the worst at-bats I've seen in the series in that scenario. So that's one. That's why we will knock his grade from an A to a B plus. And then the other one is when we put. I know it was 15 innings. I know it was a long marathon game. But when we put a pitcher in, Mr. Changeup, I knew the game was over. I knew the game was over because he only has one pitch. And Seattle, even though they're struggling to get runs in, you put a pitcher on the mound that only has one successful pitch, and then sometimes even that pitch is most of the time it's not even on the plate. Like. It was just going to be a loss because they're not going to swing at it. And if you give them anything to swing at, it's going to be game over because they don't have to worry about a multitude of pitches. They don't. It's not like Flaherty, who had done the previous 2 innings. And I would have rather tried out Flaherty again. If he would have failed, he would have failed. But at least he got you through 2 innings in the extra innings. But when they put him on the mound, I knew the game was over. So those are the 2 things that would knock his grade from an A to a B plus. But he's doing the most you can do. He's taking shit and trying to make it something gracious, and it's just not. Like, and as far as Chris' points, I will counter his point. I think AJ has talked to front office and ownership about players. We've seen him when Correa was a free agent before he went anywhere. Who was he sitting down with and having lunch with? It was AJ. AJ Hinch was meeting them. It's up to ownership to get the contract done. They're not getting the contract done. What did my man say that went to Boston? What did he say he thought? What team did he think he would be playing with this fall? And this spring when the season started, what team did he think he would? Did he think he would be a Red Sox or did he think he'd be in Detroit? And Chris, you're on mute, but I think you said what I'm saying. He thought he was going to be a Detroit Tiger. So Alex Bregman thought he was going to be a Detroit Tiger. Those are two Houston players that Hinch managed for years that he had connections with.
Suarez, before he got traded to Seattle, said he wanted to come back to Detroit.
Exactly. He put that out there himself. He put that out there himself during the trade deadline when you're talking about the last week and a half. He put that out there himself. He didn't put out a quote saying he wanted to go back to Seattle. But guess who made the move? It was Seattle. It wasn't Detroit. So that's why I don't really blame Hinch. I can't put the blame on Hinch. I'll just put the blame in a couple scenarios where I thought he could have made a better managerial decision. And that Colt Keith thing shocked me. That Colt Keith thing shocked me that he didn't pull Colt Keith in that situation. But yeah, I think he has went to the front office and ownership to try to get guys, but it's up to them to make the moves and allocate the resources and monetary things to get these guys. He's done the most with less. Like that's why he's one of the best managers in baseball. Like I don't even. It's going to be people that think about the trash cans and all the cheating scenarios and all that stuff, but you see what he's done with this Tigers team these last couple of years without having the high end players. Man, get him some players, man. That's all we're saying. Get him some players. I don't put much blame on him at all. I'll give him a B+ for this season and postseason.
Another thing we got to kill too is people have been killing him, saying he shouldn't have took Skubal out. Skubal was at 99 pitches. He went and checked on him after the 5th inning, and Skubal told him, I got one more in me. And that's why he emptied the tank. It wasn't he was getting better. It was one. No, he was emptying every freaking bullet he had out of his chamber. Like, we don't do that. If it was the 8th going into the 9th, maybe. But he wasn't going no more, man. 99 pitches, that's a lot of pitches now. He's not going. Like,
yeah,
we need to kill that.
They do, because every pitcher doesn't have the same gas tank. Like every pitcher is not going to go out there and throw 120 or plus, and that's going to be the end of them. His high was 108, I believe, for this season. I believe that's what the broadcast said. So that was in line with what he usually maxes out at. So I don't see an issue with that. And you got to have your bullpen do what they're in there for. Like that last one, like it was literally 101 right down the middle versus one of the scariest hitters in baseball. Like, come on, man. He gave us all he had.
All right, next topic we got. A lot of people have been saying this. Should we fire Scott Hayes? Rich, I'm going to tell you on this one first.
Nope. Because what people don't realize is he can, even though he's the GM, he's signing contracts, giving them out. It's not his money. Shut up, Day-Day. How does that feel, bruh? It's ownership. If Chris says, Chris Hillett says, I'm giving you $5 to spend. Why don't you got $5 to spend? You're not going to get much. I mean, you're not going to get a Bentley with $5. So, that's why I think a lot of the deals, at the deadline were what they were, because he don't want to spend. He owns 2 teams. They're both the same. It's the same shit. So what's the common denominator? It's not the GM. It's not the coach. It's the owner.
Chris.
Yeah. Rich kind of took my my thunder. Thanks, Rich. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Because I was going to say the same thing. It's like the Red Wings are doing this. They're doing the same thing. The fan base is doing the same thing with them. Man, it's been 10 years since we made the playoffs. In baseball, okay, that's not too bad, like 10 years. But in hockey, when you had 25 straight seasons of making the playoffs, your fan base is thirsty after like 2 seasons. So you can imagine how our fan base is after 10 seasons not making the playoffs. And they, once again, like Rich said, common denominator, it's Illich. And he does not want to spend. He wants to build through the draft. And the problem is that you can't build solely through the draft. You have to bring in free agents that are good, not a 29-year-old or 28-year-old that's trying to like continue to get a paycheck or will put through, has a lot of heart of gold and will get up there and give you like a good couple at bats every game or whatnot. We're not looking for that guy. We need guys that can win in pressure situations, runners in scoring position. That's going to take a little bit more money to get those kind of players. And when you have a guy that's on, dare I say, the cheap scale, it doesn't work the same like it does in football, where you can get a freaking practice squad guy in football and he can end up being a really good player. It doesn't work nearly as much. There's too many variables in baseball. You have too many players in your minors, and there's too many things to get you to the World Series or actually get you to the playoffs and then get you to the World Series. So there's too much. He's got to learn to spend money. And I don't mean spend it just to spend it because I said I spend it. Javi Baez, for an example. It's you need to really fine tune how you spend your money and who you're getting in return. So that takes a lot of work and that takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of money. But guess what? You're an owner. That's what you got to do.
Mike.
No, he should not be fired. He's doing what he's got hired to do. He's supposed to be getting the farm system together and drafting players, and so far it looks really good so far. With prospects, you never know what you really have until they actually hit the majors. But the farm system looks great. But I mean, is that going to win you a championship, especially when you got windows? Like I know they want to avoid the Skubal window. They talk about, well, it's not about that, but it really is. Like, you essentially have one more year under contract with this man, and it's up to you guys what you're going to choose to do with it. But the GMs, they can only do what ownership allows. Like, everybody wants him to be Dombrowski, but to be Dombrowski, you have to have a Mike Ilitch. You don't have Mike Ilitch in this scenario. You have Chris. So he has a whole different game plan than his dad had, man. Dombrowski and his dad, they were with spending money. They were with trading young players to get veterans and to get proven players. They're going a whole 180 from that. So I think, should you fire him for that? No, because this is what he's been enlisted to do, and he's been, at this point, successful at what he's been enlisted to do. They just need to change their philosophy.
Last topic before we head out of here and get ready for some football. What needs to be done, man, for this team to be successful and compete for a World Series next year? I'm going to start with you, Mike.
We're being a dead horse at this point, but we're going to keep on drilling it. And hopefully they hear it. And hopefully even the fans, like, I know the fans are getting tired of it too. Like, they were getting to the point where they were booing. Even that game 4 before the Tigers bat started going and they started coming back in that game, being down 3-0. Like, they were getting tired of it. It's very apathetic feeling that you have. I'm laughing at Day-Day's comment. Fire Harrison. Oh, yeah, you know what? Put that comment on. He did. Neil doing me dirty, man. I appreciate you, Day-Day. I appreciate you, Day-Day. Neil didn't even put the comment up. Fire Harrison, hire Mike. That's what I'm talking about. But that's what needs to change.
Man, I was sending my daughter, bro. I'm trying. All right, you got it. My bad.
They need to actually go after the people, because Javi, I'll say this: Javi had a resurgence this year. He was one of the most, if not the best,
be the team this year. Besides Google,
he was one of the best consistent hitters we had in this playoff run, if not the best, one of the best. But I was listening to Chris in the last episode when I wasn't able to be on it because I was working. He said exactly what he needed to say. Like, we still have to call a ball, strike, essentially. Like, if you look at that contract, 4 years into that 6-year contract, if we had to vote right now, was that contract worth it, you guys? Chris says no. Rich, what do you say? No. So, but the hobby contract doesn't happen if you let Hinch get his players. If you let Hinch get his players that he wanted, like I said, He met with Carlos Correa. He met with Alex Bregman. If you let him go after those type of players and not be so cheap, we wouldn't be in this scenario. But shout out to him. He did his thing. He had a resurgent year. He was one of the best, most consistent hitters we had in the playoff in this postseason run. But they need to go after the big names that have proven track records. They need to do that. That's what needs to be done.
They're thinking about dinner plans. Chris.
I heard that comment. Go to hell.
So what I think needs to be done is what we've been harping on for the last 2.5 years on, especially this show, over and over again. And I'm not going to sit here and say Chris needs to just fully open up the wall and let's go. No. What they need to do is they need to be more. And I think they have the ability now more than they did before. You have to be able to look at players and see what they're going to get. If you look at a player and he hasn't played well the last 3 seasons, but you saw 4 seasons ago that he had one really good season, you can't sign him to a big contract because he had one good season in his career so far. You really have to sit down and figure out, is this the person that we need to bring in? Does he have the attitude that we want here? Is he going to be a leader in the locker room? You really have to look at who you're going to sign. We need to go out and Mike alluded to it earlier. You got to change your philosophy on what you're doing, man. You can't just build through the draft. It just seems like we're patch holing with veterans and we're just waiting until everybody matures. The problem is nobody matures at the same time, as Rich has said in the past. You have to, you're going to, some guys you're not going to be able to sign that are your prospects. And there are times that you're not going to be able to pay guys that want to come here because they may not want to. But guys that want to come here and that are legit good players, you got to go out and sign them. I don't know. I don't know. Between all of us, I don't think it's that difficult to figure out how you put a team together in baseball. Now, I get it. People have certain personalities that they want in the room, and then Illich is a cheap guy and he doesn't want to spend too much money. But at this point, if all you're looking for is to make the playoffs and that's it, I mean, what does that say about you? I mean, that means you just want to be a mid-owner. That's what it says. So what needs to be done? A philosophy change. We need better hitters in the game, and you got to seriously consider re-signing players that you have groomed from your prospect pool. Otherwise, nobody's going to want to come here.
Rich.
We need some right-handed power bad. We are left-handers everywhere.
You've been saying that for 2 years.
I have, and it's still true.
It's too
Your
many
whole
lefties,
starting
man.
outfield, as of right now, is all lefties. I mean, and all your prospects coming up, all your top prospects, they're lefties. And hell, not to mention, we had a problem hitting lefties. So
And we had lefties that couldn't hit lefties. like that. It's just been comical, man. It's been comical. That I've been saying that a while too. Some of these lefties gonna have to go. I don't care how much some of these fans like these guys or hope for these guys to do well. You can't have a team full of lefties and no right-handed power. We only have Torque, bro. Torque and Dingler.
if you ask me, Riley be gone, Colt Keith be gone, and Parker be gone.
But yeah, I get it.
This is a difficult way to end the season, man. It's crazy. Crazy. They were outperforming our expectations for a while throughout the season, probably 80% throughout the year, and then for them to drop off like they did the second half of the season, and then be that inept on the offensive side of the ball in the playoffs, it's just tough to get through. Tough to get through. And no, they we not interested in Azuna. He about to say some bum like Azuna. We don't want him.
No.
Acuna.
Man,
Acuna.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Acuna, you're right.
Yeah.
Nah,
Riley Green for Acuna.
we gotta be realistic. Acuna is
Hey,
not.
y'all gotta stop that shit for real.
Yeah, we gotta be realistic.
My man had the best year, but not. No, don't do that. Y'all bullshit.
Well, if that trade was a realistic, Bandit, we would do that every day of the week. Every day of the week. It's just not a
Fuck your
realistic
feelings,
scenario.
Bandit. 1,000.
That's not a real fucking trade, bro.
I think they talking about Pete Alonso, y'all.
Hey, he's a free agent. And he actually did better this year. His power dropped, but his batting average doubles. And I think his on-base percentage improved.
But I think that's all the topics. Do we have any more topics, Bandit?
That's it, bro.
Hey, this was a good show. Good show, y'all.
Yeah, for the last one of the season. Kirk, I appreciate 163 people, 64 people that's here watching our last episode, man. I'm sure you do, man. Especially when it's football on right now. Y'all could be watching football, even though the game are sorry as fuck. But we appreciate y'all coming and watching this special edition of State of the Franchise presented by Detroit Family Report. If you do us a favor, please go to YouTube and subscribe, man. Y'all already spent 52 minutes of your day. Y'all want to just spend another 30 seconds and go to our YouTube page and hit the subscribe button for us. I appreciate that. Like we do when we end every show, we remind y'all where y'all can find us at. Starting off with Rich. Let them know where they can find you at.
But that was
You can catch me on X at Riggs928.
Chris.
You can find me on X at Crazy Hockey Fan. You can also find me on Instagram at OnePrideNation_24.
Mike.
Find me on X at OnePride_JR. they crazy.
All right, we're in like this, y'all, before we go. With the remaining teams in the playoff run, who y'all want to win the World Series? Rich.
I don't give a damn.
I love that, Rich, on God. Chris.
You really want me to say who I think is going to win the World Series?
Yeah.
Just because it's my – so I would want to pick the Brewers just because I want them to beat the Dodgers. So, yeah, I'm going to say the Brewers just because I want them to beat the Dodgers. That's all.
Mike.
I'm rooting for the little guy, so give me the Brewers. And then in the AL, both teams will be fresh air in the AL, so I don't have a problem between Toronto or the Mariners. So anybody but the Dodgers, pretty much. Anybody but the Dodgers. But I do have real rooting chance for the Brewers. I would like to see them break through because they were getting so much hate throughout this season. Even after and during the All-Star break, it was anonymous scouts and GMs talking about it was basically smoke and mirrors. It was going to be the same thing when they get to the playoffs. They would get smoked. And now you're seeing them playing the NLCS. So I hope they break through and continue to have those haters eat their words.
I'm with Maria. Oh, Canada. Do it for Drake. Take a big over him. No, like I said, man, I appreciate everybody that watched, man. Please do it for man. Hit the subscribe button, man. We'll probably have some special episodes if we get some big requirements in the off season. Yeah. You ain't showing everything else when we come like that. But that's it, man. Appreciate y'all watching, man. Hit that subscribe
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Make sure y'all catch us for the pregame show coming on today at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So look forward to that. We got a couple more comments. I'll be back after the football game. Jay said the Jays. All right, y'all. We just said peace. You have a beautiful Sunday. And go try.